Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The name's Ben, and today, a blast from the past, the Slayer Mindset series. What's that about? Well, it was one of the first series that I started on my channel. It was meant to highlight some of the more rarely discussed habits of good Slayers, most of which I learned from watching Halo Pros, but it transferred pretty well to both Call of Duty and Destiny, so here we is. In this video, I'll be going over rule number 1 of the Slayer Mindset, staying alive. Because, well, you can't slay if you is dead. This was actually inspired by a few friends of mine who would occasionally say things like, "Should I use my super? How?" Or the classic, "I'm dead." So here's a list of do's and some don'ts that may help you stay alive. First do on the list involves developing something called an exit strat. An exit strat is simply a play you can make to escape a losing battle, or one that you did not initiate. This normally involves being aware of your teammates' positions and retreating to team shot because a solo opponent is less likely to rush 2 or more targets. It also involves remaining within the optimal effective range of your weapon. I've touched on a similar idea called minimal safe distance in a previous sniping video. Here's an example. I get a hit on the motion sensor. I push a window with a nade. I quickly get thirsty and push. And then I exhibit a bad case of no aim. At this point I decide to back away. I'll try again. Essentially, if I don't start the gunfight, I back out, because the worst thing you can do in this situation is attempt to outgun an opponent that already has 1 to 2 seconds head start on acquiring his or her target. It seems so simple, but not enough people do this. I'll admit I'll overstay my welcome sometimes, especially with weapons like the Last Word, but after gauging the skill level of the opponent, I'll rarely repeat the mistake. The end result is always the same. I'll lose every time. So in summation, if your opponent gets first shot, always evade and re-engage when they no longer have the advantage. Or better yet, practice not putting yourself in a position you can't get out of the moment you sense danger. Sometimes this is easier said than done. In those cases though, you can improve your chances of survival by working on your panic response. This is the next do on the list. A panic response is something you do when unexpected and unfavorable situations in the Crucible arise, making you do the doo-doo in your pants a little bit. Here are some more examples. It's important to note that some subclasses are better equipped for panic situations than others. Your abilities and grenades also play a huge role in ensuring your survival in these situations. For instance, people that main Titans with Twilight Garrison and use proper skating, in general can get out of a lot of situations simply by memorizing a set of button combinations. For more demos on that, check out the link in the description. The same could be said of Night Stalkers with Shadestep or Hunters and Warlocks with Blink. Even sliding can be used in panic situations. It can help you do a lot of things. For one, it keeps the overall surface area of your Guardian exposed to the enemy at a minimum. It also buys you time by forcing your opponent to line their sights lower. This in turn can make your opponents empty their clips into thin air. If you ever find yourself getting sprayed down while you have a short range or low fire rate weapon out, all you need to do is slide forward and diagonally, and before you know it, you've dodged a bunch of bullets and you've put yourself within melee range. The last thing I want to highlight here are heat spots. If you've been on Destiny's Reddit page, you'll be familiar with these neat little heat maps created by some clever creature, which indicate where most deaths occur in a given game type. This example is one of a Trials map we all know, Burning Shrine. The redder the area, the greater the number of deaths that occur there. What this tells you is that if you get picked first a lot, you should avoid these areas, or better yet, start to come up with counter pushes that will give you angles on the areas that overlook those spots. Here's an example. From the Burning Shrine heat map, we've seen that most facelifts occur at the special ammo crate near the outside initial spawn. So I go to one of the 3 areas that overlook that spot. In this case, I find all 3 opponents standing there. I'll do this until my initial push becomes a heat spot in the next round. This isn't limited to Trials of Osiris though. With every death in a given game type, it's a good idea to build a mental heat map of areas to avoid. Here's another example on Exodus Blue. I haven't checked the heat map for Exodus yet, but from personal experience, I know to avoid the pipe. Here's a play-by-play Trials of Osiris round that could have easily gone south because someone's decided to ignore the hottest of heat spots. think they're... Oh, I got one. I'm getting chased forever, watch out.
What the fuck are those?
Those are Axions.
That just about killed me.
Any blips?
There's a guy all the way in the back.
I have an orb down here.
I got him.
Okay, there we go.
On C flag.
He's middle. Middle.
C building.
Push, push. I'll watch these. I
No,
don't.
he's mid. He's their spawn.
Dude.
Yo, I tightened the charge.
Yes.
He's on the right. He's on the right of the tunnel. He's pushing C. You can get the res. You can get the res.
No, I can't. I'll get...
Alright, he's pushing you.
Right there.
He's right there.
Got
Wow.
his res.
He got the res.
The left.
Right on.
Ooh.
Nice shot. Holy shit.
Since last September, when this map was released on Xbox, I think I can count the number of times I've gone through that pipe while it was unsecured on one hand. I avoid it at all costs. Think of these sightlines as being very long train tunnels out in the country that are designed to fit the train perfectly with no extra room on the side. When you're on one end of it, you have two choices. Avoid it and survive always, or go through it and survive if the train isn't scheduled to go through it. It's your choice. I'll post a link of heat maps of some of the more popular maps below, but if your worst map isn't on the list, you can create one in your mind, just by watching your own footage and noting your death spots. Maybe play back the first and last 5 minutes of your most recent game on a given map. You'll find yourself instinctively avoiding these areas. That's about it. I'm thinking of creating videos for this series with a more condensed format that cover more pointers briefly, followed by a play-by-play live con that demonstrates a given concept in not so many words, because I know this may be old news for some people. Anyways, until next time, may your... oh my god, that's so cheesy. That was my closing statement. My outro for this series back in the day was, may your kills be many and your deaths be few. So cheesy. It's so cheesy. It's almost as cheesy as that trailer for the new XXX Return of Xander Cage movie. You know the one I'm talking about? The one with the lady sniper looking through her scope at guns and then at girls somehow downrange, and she goes, ooh, guns? Oh no, oh girls? Sounds like Xander Cage to me. Oh, just shut your mouth. I'm gonna have to find a link for that now. Dang it. Oh, an afterthought. Operation Get a New PC is officially underway, for those of you I haven't seen on Twitter yet, mainly because my current PC won't let me render high-quality videos, or even open an almost completed cheeky edit in After Effects. It's being so stupid. This video will probably take 8 hours to render if it goes without freezing. It's like a slow cooker. I'm hoping with a hardware upgrade I'll be able to edit and render videos in a timely manner, so to that end I've started a temporary Patreon campaign to fund Operation Death to Slow Computers. Link will be below. I actually got the idea from one of you, so thank you, Chris. I'm also working on some t-shirt designs that will place adorable guardians on your chesticles. I'll probably announce that in a more formal video. Double also. I'm not on a lot on weekends, but whenever I get back, I see tons of messages about running Trials of Osiris. On average, like 150 messages every weekend. I'm not ignoring you, I just don't see them until the next week, because I tend to work on weekends sometimes. So sorry no sorry, okay? I do really appreciate all your loving threats when I fail to upload though. Thank you. I read every single comment or message. I just run out of battery power trying to respond to all of them. Anyways, that's it for now. Until next time, God bless. And deuces. Oh, and guess what? 2 videos up today. Yeah, look at you. You're glad. You can't believe it. You're happy. You're puking. You should stop. Enjoy.